Hey everyone, Steve here with Class A Surfacing. Today I want to talk about a tool that NX, Siemens Lads, introduced in NX11. And here's NX11, and you can see right here, there's my variable offset face. If you take a look at the menu, you see it has face, you have the region, and the options as far as how it operates. I'll link the video that I made before down below. So go ahead and grab it, take a look at it, and you'll understand the tool I'm talking about. So I'm just going to go ahead and get NX11 out of the way and go into NX12. What they've done in NX12 is they've added some additional functionality. So in the olden days, you would go to, it was by default panel, right? You didn't see that option at the top. You pick the surface, then you pick the boundary object, and then with that panel, you could just simply do that offset, boom, done. Now, once again, I'm going to go into the offset. I'm going to switch this back over to panel. This is what it used to be. Under panel, if I do the same thing, but this time I pick an actual boundary, you'll notice that I can actually have a closed off boundary and do whatever I want to, whereas before I didn't really have this capability. So they've improved the panel functionality, so now I can just take and offset that within a closed boundary. I also have the ability to come in here and specify along a vector. Pick that cat, but you'll notice that it really doesn't go along that vector. All right, so it looks like there's something that the Siemens Lads needs to go and correct. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but when I see along the vector, I think of something that's prismatic in that specific direction. But for the most part, panel looks good. Now I'm just going to cancel and reset the menu, go back into variable offset. This time I'm going to use pad. And with pad, what this allows you to do is I'm going to pick my surface, and I'm going to pick a couple of boundaries. I'm going to pick this boundary, and I'm going to pick this boundary. What ends up happening is between those boundaries, you'll see here, this is region 2. I'm going to call that a bridge. And then region number 1, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. And with a circle or a rectangle, the system has a hard time calculating and generating. It takes its time, especially if you have hard corners. It really crunches, and the hard corners do not align correctly. As you can see, it does that pad, so that interior region is offset up, and this middle region is now a bridge, and this region back here is just left where it's at. You can go ahead and move that face if you want. Now, this tool again works great, but it's, as you can see, a little slow depending on the type of section you specify, or the type of profile, I apologize, that you specify that you're going to create a pad with. So I'm going to go back into my variable offset, and this time I'm going to pick this face again. And with this, I'm going to pick this boundary and this middle boundary. You can see it's the middle because the two highlighted lines are the two edges of the curves that I picked are highlighted. This is indicating what region you're actually working on. I'm going to call that a bridge. And then the region that I want to offset is this guy, so I'm going to pull this up. You'll see here that with a profile like this, it works much quicker. It worked quicker with this than it did with a circle, and if I tried this with a hard cornered rectangle, forget about it. It's going to really scratch its head and have a hard time. So it seems like it likes these kinds of profiles a lot better than if I were to do just a plain old simple rectangle. And you can see once I select OK how quickly it applies that pad. I'm going to double click on it. Oops, let me go back into variable fill. There we go. Now here, again, I have my various settings. Here's the height of that area that I'm offsetting. I can grab this region here as well and move it if I want to. It's going to give me some guff with this area back here. Because again, I'm offsetting that circle. You can see it's gonna cough out on me. Let me do this. Let me delete that other one. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and modify this guy. So now when I do that offset, you'll see it works just fine. Okay, so like I said, it has a hard time with circles, and it really has a difficult time with hard corners, as I've mentioned several times already. So I'll go back into my variable offset face. And you can see bridge continuity, everything's connected. I could also say tangent, And in this case, let's see if it'll actually do it. I don't know. It may not have enough space in between the two sections. But you can create a ramp that's tangent to both of these. And then body output is just simply being able to say, hey, I want to use the original, or I want to use a new surface, so the original isn't affected. So if you know you're going to use that surface over and over again, it's going to go for it. As you can see here, it's having a little bit of trouble trying to calculate that tangent. So they've made some improvements to the tool, and I'm just going to be quite frank, be honest, you can hear the fans winding up. It's really pushing. They still have a bit more work to do with it. So use it, just be careful what you do with it, because it can really, as you can see, start slowing things down, crunching things quite a bit. I like it. I like where they're going with it. This is probably eventually going to take the place of a general pad, general pocket, maybe some of the emboss tools. Quite frankly, I'm still a big fan of the general pad pocket. I really hope they keep those and improve them more than anything, because those are absolutely fantastic tools. Siemens, over there, lads, please listen up. Anyway, as you can see, the variable offset face, good tool. Still has some bugs they need to work out. Maybe in the next release they'll figure something out, or maybe they'll fix something when they release a new package for this maintenance release, and we'll see what happens. But good tool. Definitely the panel version of it works great, brilliant. The one bug I think is the projection direction, but other than that, everything is good. Oh, there it is. There's my tangency. Anyway, hope you learned something. Please like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and share with your friends.